members: Josh Cameron, Andreas Anderson, Blunt Too Heavy, Isaiah Robeson, Tristan Hoffman, Jaegerbomb Legend, James Isn't Real, and Noble Bulls. Thank you guys so much for your continued support and membership. So, the college football 25 trailer came out, and I have some thoughts. First of all, I was a little bit disappointed that it was not a gameplay trailer. The game is coming out in July, so it's only 2 months away. July 19th is the release date I saw. Let me see if I can double check that real quick, because the more I think about it, the less that makes sense. Yeah, July 19th. Or July 16th if you pre-order. Okay, so it is only about 2 months away. It's going to be PS5 and Xbox Series X exclusive. So only being about 2 months away, I was kind of disappointed that we did not see gameplay yet. Because this is a game that I am cautiously very optimistic for. I'm a big fan of NCAA 14. And I've recorded a little bit of gameplay that I might put underneath this video potentially. And my fear is that this game won't live up to what NCAA did before it. And I think not yet seeing gameplay for the game kind of makes that fear a little bit worse for me. Because you guys know I'm not a huge college sports person, but I've always loved the NCAA football games. Just because being able to run the whole program, doing recruitment, all of that stuff. But my real fear with this game is that it's basically just going to be Madden with the serial numbers changed. It's going to be Madden with an NCAA code of paint. Because NCAA 14, that's a physics-based engine. I personally prefer physics-based sports games, although so many of them nowadays are animation-based sports games, which I feel like just takes away a level of control from you, the player. You're not really in control of the actions on the field. That's why I'm such a big fan of Pro Yaku Spirits Baseball. And I'm really excited that the new one is actually coming to Steam, because that is a physics-based baseball game. But seeing the trailer and not yet getting any gameplay, I'm really getting worried that this is gonna be Madden. And that's not to say Madden's, recently I do not like Madden as a product. That's not to say it can't be good. There's been good Maddens, obviously. But you have certain plays that are just really cheesy, certain audibles, things like that that can just completely break the game in Madden. And that's the kind of stuff I don't want to see in this game. And now I've heard the development team, people game, they've been saying that they've been building this from the ground up. It's not gonna just be like Madden. So that's what they're saying. But then this game is also being bundled with Madden 25, like if you get the deluxe edition. Which that just by itself isn't a bad thing, right? Like if you're a football fan, you're gonna play both games anyway, it might make sense. And if it does the thing where, let's say you have a player career mode in NCAA, you finish your college career, if you can import that player into Madden 25, because I believe that was a feature in NCAA 14. I've only played the game like well after the servers went offline, so I've never done that myself, so I don't really know if that was a feature or not. But I think it was. You know, if there's something like that, that's totally cool. But it's just things like that that make me nervous, but I'm just gonna talk about. I made a little sticky note here. I'm watching the reveal trailer, reading some of the features and stuff off their website, releasing July 19th, like I said. They're calling their little gameplay suite, Campus IQ, which is a nice name. The thing that really stuck out to me about Campus IQ, though, and something that does sound exciting, they have this wear and tear system, they call it. So you have to manage the fatigue of your players, play by play, substitute guys on and off depending on the schemes, depending on what's going on in the game. Because let's say you have like a star wide receiver or something, if he's playing too many snaps by the time you get to the fourth quarter, if it's a close game, if you're down, let's say 3 points and you have to make a big play, if he's been playing too many downs, he might not be able to make that big play. But if you're giving him proper rest, if you're letting other dudes fill his shoes, whatever, then he'll be fresh enough to come in there and make an impact. And I do like that system if they make that work well. That sounds really good. I think that's one of those things you have to have like multiple options of complexity to that, right? Like have a basic one where maybe it's automatically done for you, the computer automatically manages it. Then maybe a slightly more complicated one where maybe the computer will suggest substitutions for you, but you make the choice. And then finally like a fully manual substitution system. I'm really excited for that. The two features that immediately catch my attention, because this is where I spend my time as a sports video game player. You have the Dynasty mode. Now, of course, Dynasty mode, same theoretically as NCAA 14. You're taking on the role of the coach, and you're managing your coordinators. You're doing your recruitment. It's going to be interesting to see how the transfer portal system works in this. And how the NIL system works, like how they handle the topic of like money and marketing rights and things like that for players. Like if there's a player that you want to come transfer to your team, do you like work out a deal with them, how much you'll give them for like advertising or something like that? It'll be interesting to see how that system works. What I like about the Dynasty mode is there's a create a team mode, and now create a team is in 14, but it mentioned a team builder website. So that leads me to believe that there's going to be an online suite of tools that gives you deeper customization options than, let's say like Madden for instance, where it's pre-built teams, the same set of logos, the same jerseys, and you have to pick a pre-built option. If there's a team builder website that you go through, perhaps that opens the door to you being able to upload custom logos, go into some sort of uniform designer tool or something like that. I'm not saying that will be the case, but I feel like it makes it perhaps more likely. And then you have your road to glory as well as managing your on-field play. You have to manage your school schedule, maintain your GPA. So I really wonder how that's gonna work. Like, is it just like make sure you're attending classes and not just going to practice? You have to like manage increasing your physical skills and on-field abilities versus going to class and improving your GPA and trying to strike a balance. Or is it gonna like, this was a thing in video games like in the early 2000s, but it like actually ask you trivia questions. I remember there was this Yu-Gi-Oh game for the Game Boy that I used to play. And it would ask you trivia questions. If you got it wrong, you'd actually like go down a level in the game. But like, what if you just don't know the answer to these questions? Your player's suffering. But I imagine it will probably be a sort of balancing act in your like activities. And then the final aspect of that that's very interesting is managing your image, which I assume means like staying out of trouble, not breaking the law. But then it's like, well, how is that gonna work? I'm assuming we're not gonna get like some free roam type thing where we can like just go commit GTA activities with our college player. So the worst way this appears is if it's like these pre-rendered cutscenes or something, and then like in the career mode, like you're forced into the transfer portal because you're kicked off the team or something. Like if it's a pre-scripted story, but that could be interesting. It could not be. Single player stories in sports games are always hit and miss. Those are the two modes I'm most excited for. Even if it is like Madden-esque gameplay, I still feel like the recruitment aspect should be decent. I'm not too concerned about that. And then there's also 2 online game modes announced, and it seems like these are both cross-console, so that's good. There's the Road to College Football Playoff, and that kinda seems like it's like an online franchise. And if that's and it says cross-console, so that being cross-console, that's what it seemed like to me. You pick your school, your friends pick their schools, and like you go head to head to like get your college seating and things like that. So unless it's like a totally new sort of tournament bracket type thing they set up, it feels reminiscent of an online franchise. And of course the thing that people knew was coming, but we were concerned about how it would impact the game, they announced the Ultimate Team mode, but we still have not seen too much info on that. But with the game being so close, you have to assume that we will be getting more information soon, probably another trailer, hopefully with gameplay. Probably a Dynasty mode deep dive, a Road to Glory deep dive, an Ultimate Team deep dive. I'm assuming each mode there'll be a video showcase. They've done that with games in the past. And then it said there's 134 FPS home atmospheres as well as bowl games. So that's like fully mapped out stadiums, the home atmospheres, the chants, the songs. Now that's really cool. And that's the really exciting part to me. 134. That feels like a lot. I'm assuming that's a similar amount to the amount of schools that were in 14. I don't know. Obviously the licensing rights now is a way different beast than it was back then. But yeah, so I am excited about this. I'm cautiously optimistic. I'm gonna wait for reviews before I buy this. this for sure. If I'm looking at this game and reviews start coming out and it's getting positive reviews, if it's noticeably better than the recent Madden outings, then yeah, I have to pull the trigger on this. Because like I said, I'm a huge fan of 14. I also played a little bit of NCAA Basketball 11. I think I actually did that on the channel. I've never played 14 on the channel, I don't think. But I just love the recruiting and all that aspect. So, you know, even though I'm not a college football fan, if this ends up being a successful game, I would easily be choosing this over Madden. I haven't bought a Madden game, and I think the most recent Madden game that I actually purchased was the one with Antonio Brown on the cover, whichever one that was. I think that was 20. But I've just been dissatisfied with those games, and for a while I was only picking up 2K and NHL. But now it's like NHL isn't even good anymore. I haven't played NHL in like 2 years. I still play a little bit of 2K, mainly my league. But a lot of these sports games outside of the show has been consistently good. But a lot of these sports games nowadays, it just, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but it just feels like they're not as good as they used to be. So I'm really hopeful for this. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic. I want to wait for reviews, and not like an IGN review, like somebody who's a sports gaming channel, somebody who has some credibility to put out a review on this. But I'm, crossing my fingers this can, if this is successful, maybe it'll push some of the other games to do a little bit better. I know it's EA, but they're all separate studios inside EA, whatever else. But anyways, just a short one here. I'm also testing out my new light back there to see how it looks on camera, so I just want to do a short video here. I'm going to be talking about NBA and NHL Round 2 soon, just to wait for a couple Game 7s to finish up. But there should theoretically be the next 2 videos. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about College Football 25. Are you excited for it? Do you think it's going to be way different from Madden? Do you think it's going to be better, worse than NCAA 14? Let me know. I'd love to hear comments. If you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this almost every single day. Till next time, guys. Bye bye.